Hello, everyone. I'm Paul Uliberry, joined by Nate Perkins, and together we're bringing you commentary for the back nine coverage of the 2019 Waco Annual Charity Open.
You got it. We're here, dude. Waco, Texas. Back on the river. Really great spot to play disc golf.
Absolutely. Especially after turning in a front round score like you and Germ did.
Yeah, we're kind of, past those first round jitters. We're kind of getting settled into our round and feeling pretty good about it.
I would be too. Brian Earhart and Eric Oakley also playing well. They had a couple bogeys early on in that front nine, but I expect them to come back, and there are birdies to be had on this back nine for sure.
This is one of the better holes on the course, I feel. This is just a beautiful hole. The way that it's just sprawled out 120 feet across, par 4, 591 feet. You really get to open up in the woods, which you don't get to do too often. You throwing a driver on this one?
Yeah, I kind of go as far as I possibly can. I found lately in my career that when I kind of go after a hole like this, it's kind of a little bit tighter, but it awards aggressive as well, that I just go hard. And we see Germ.
He's been sticking with this play for years now.
Sidearm off the tee is tough because the initial gap, there's a tree on the right and a tree on the left, and it kind of pinches that sidearm play, so it's not optimal unless you have a flippier disc. And I think that's kind of what Germ's doing there, and it takes, like I said earlier on the front nine, level expert.
Yeah, I don't even consider it. It's such a difficult shot, and that's why Germ is Germ.
And that's why you decided to play a perfect backhand on the right side, right in the middle.
And see, check out that form that we're talking about. Eric keeping it up toward his chest, and he just rips on this disc. He's getting all the distance he needs.
Yeah, he doesn't have, he has very unique style with his form.
Yeah.
And he's changing it a bit, but he still has, that famous little hop in the middle that I just love to watch. I love Eric's style, and he generates so much power off of that hit point once he comes down out of his little hop that he does. And
it's all super compact too. He's not like running into the pad. He starts. It's only a few steps. Definitely admire his form.
Yeah, so we mentioned on the front nine that Brian actually broke his big toe before the round, so he's in a little bit of pain, and he's doing all standstill sidearms, and he is under par right now. So very impressive, and this shot is right in the middle of the fairway. He is in a prime spot. I believe that if he was perfectly healthy, that he would throw that same shot.
Yeah,
right there where he was.
I think he would have.
He would take that all day. He catches those last couple guardian trees, but I think he threw that the way that he wanted to. And that's just a course designer doing his job, putting those right in his way. And that was a great approach from you. Nice
that's
touch.
kind of that awkward distance.
Yeah, nice touch coming into the green. A little better touch than Germ has right there. Kind of skipping off to the right. He's going to have to earn that putt.
Yeah.
Eric trying to get that turned over so that it lands soft into that green. If you're watching at home, a long time ago, I asked a really good player how to get better at throwing backhands. He said, land it where you want. And
is that Josh Anthon?
Yeah, and it was he's pretty blunt when he talks about stuff like that. And at first I thought he was being sarcastic, like land it where you want, but then I realized like he was serious. He says land it where you want. Yeah, land it right there to where it's not moving again.
Yeah, a lot of players like to skip in. Yeah.
But if you land it where you want, you're gonna, with that accuracy, then you can just place your shots onto the green.
He also has some of the best putting advice I've ever heard. You know what that is?
What's that?
Just get it closer.
Love that guy. These are some nice putts coming in just to clean up. A couple pars, a couple birds. And you guys are rolling again.
And I love seeing that. Because I can tell that my weight's kind of in front of myself. I need to watch a little bit more slow-mo action like that so I can actually figure out a backhand like yours.
Oh, jeez. Stop it. Blushing. Hole 11, par 3, 279 feet. And this hole is just hard. Like,
Yeah.
it's really rewarding when you beat the gap and you get up there and you get the birdie. But it seems like it gets really hard in the tournament round. In practice, you're just throwing them down there. You don't really care if you hit those guardians because you have another shot to practice, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just one of those holes that it might be one of the more difficult twos on the course just because you still have to beat those 3 guardians, and it's kind of lucky to do it. And if you don't and you pull it a little bit to that right side, it kind of funnels into these bunkers on the left, and it's just a really tough green.
Yeah, you can actually park this hole and roll down to where you
Yeah.
don't have a putt. So it's really hard to place this one where you want it.
Right, and then a play like yours right there, you threw that very well, and you're on the green, and let's
Death
see
putt.
and you have an absolute death putt. If he misses that putt from up there, he's gonna be left, and then you have low ceiling branches, all kinds of stuff, and you miss low, the thing's rolling, you know. So this is just one of those holes where a birdie feels very rewarding.
Yeah, and this approach is actually pretty gnarly too because of all the guardians and the hill.
Oh, I landed almost a little bit further than Eric through that exact upshot, kind of trying to make it, hit a branch, rolled away.
Bogeyed it?
Double bogey.
Dirty, Paul.
Germ, though, doesn't care about the danger.
So much confidence. So much confidence.
Just
It's great
to run
see.
it.
Yeah,
just to run that
Yeah.
putt, like you have to know you're going to make it. And you have to putt this. So you don't have an option to lay up. You
Yeah,
have to
I
putt
know.
it. And
I know.
And you're sitting there and you're like, it's a scary putt. I know what you're going through. You're thinking, well, I have to putt it. You know, there's no other
You're so
option.
right. You're so right. Because I'm thinking, I just need to lay this one up. Because if I miss right, like my miss is right when I miss.
Right.
So I'm thinking in my head, you can't lay up
Yeah,
at this
You
level,
have to
guys.
make it.
And when people are watching, when you're on the film, it's just no option. Especially when Germ, who's beating you by a stroke, just made his from outside the circle.
So Germ's 10 through 10, you're 9, or 10 through 11, pardon me, and you're 9 through 11. You guys are grooving now, like,
We're on a roll.
absolutely. Coming into hole 12, especially par 5, 609 feet. This is another one of those holes where don't let the distance fool you because you're kind of pinched off of your drive. You can't really get that much distance. And
250 maybe,
yeah, and
275.
if you try to push it, you're going to push it and hit that backside of that fairway
Yeah.
and kind of get sucked in. But this is totally eagleable.
Yeah.
After saying that as well, with a good drive like Germ has here, he's going to have a shot to go up the hill and maybe give himself a look.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because the forehand is like the optimal play off the tee.
You pull
a
that
little
a little
fast on that one, yeah. Forehand's the optimal shot off the tee, but it's not really primed to get you in that eagle range. If you take the backhand and force one over, you can kind of work up the fairway a little bit further.
And this is just a nightmare situation for Brian because he's sitting there on the tee. He's a left-handed player. He can't put weight on that front foot because of the broken toe, so he has to play in really good shots. Looks like he caught a guardian tree, but good reaction off the tree as long as it dies down. Yeah, good reaction off the tree. But yeah, like I was saying with Brian, he has to throw this standstill flippy disc down the hill in a crosswind, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he does a really good shot, but still gets that kind of cut into the brush there. And then he's forced to do another standstill. He's just really limited with this injury, and it's interesting to see him play.
It is. He's making it work though.
That was just a boomer. Got through all the high branches from Eric, way up there.
Germ has definitely eagled it from right there. He flips something up. Skips just a little fast. Don't think he's going to have a putt from there.
Yeah, me neither. And I think, honestly, I like that brush over there. And I think if they were to take all that brush out, it'd be a par 4.
That's a good point.
Because then everybody would be playing sidearm up that hill just to get to the right. And then they'd have that, 30 to 40 footer into the hole. Eric kind of just pushes that a little bit too high. See? And he's just handcuffed.
Yeah.
But if that brush isn't there, he's got a wide open putt, and you as well.
little floater. I actually had, I couldn't go directly at it like my natural putt. I had to like toss that one up there. So I was really stoked to see that one find the chains.
Yeah, and way to take advantage of that nice little rollout from that tree on the second shot.
Yeah.
And Eric's a little frustrated here. He misses that one. He's had a couple bad breaks. He's had a couple bad shots, and you can see him kind of just walk off in disgust, which we have all done. Like that's my reaction when I miss as well. I just kind of turn around and like
Yeah.
I just can't even I can't even look at this anymore.
Especially when the other people on your card are kind of lighting it up.
Yeah,
You know,
shredding.
when it feels even worse. A par or a bogey feels that much worse when your competitors who you're intimately involved with when you're playing in a foursome are just birdieing away.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And then coming out of this wooded section, we're now coming into more wide open area of the course to finish this round. And just like the start of the round, if you guys saw the front nine, straight tailwind going into the woods. Now you got a straight headwind coming out of the woods. And this hole in practice was playing super short, totally gettable, eagleable, and now it's playing as a true par 4,
Yeah,
playing 150 to 200 feet further in this wind.
no doubt. That's what makes this course great, though. I mean, we just came from like the tightest woods we're gonna play all year, and now we're coming out into a pecan grove next to a river, into the headwind. So it's
Yeah.
amazing.
And so does that have something to do with, you going backhand kind of down that tight tunnel? Because I know you have the sidearm where you can go out wide.
Absolutely.
But
I'm throwing the backhand because I know that wind is gonna flip it up. If I throw it flat, it's gonna move it to the right and get as far down there as I need to have a 150-foot forehand approach.
And so Eric catches some limbs, but he can totally get there still. But this one's too high. He catches those branches, kind of shoots them down. Now he's got to get up and down from there for par. And here we see Germ's really first mistake in a while.
Yeah.
And that he was in good position. He had a shot kind of into the green, but he left that one get up. This headwind's so stiff
It's
that it's
stiff.
just lifting everything. I love a good headwind on a hole because it really magnifies any mistake
Yeah,
that
that's a great
somebody
point.
has in their form, that they have in their shot. Any fear that you have, you can see it right away.
Yeah, exactly. And this win really shows that. I mean, it's almost like we're playing it blind, Paul,
Mhm.
because we didn't practice this win. So just like you said, I might normally throw a forehand off the tee there. I'm throwing backhand, and a lot of these guys are changing up their shots to get to the pin. Oh no.
Yeah, and you just didn't, you didn't trust the wind there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm tailwind, and I know I got to get it high, and I just didn't.
It's definite. But you gave Eric a nice win read.
Yeah.
That reminds me, like in traditional golf, you see the competitor kind of eyeballing behind the person who's putting if he has a similar putt.
Yeah.
And you gave Eric a nice little win read there with that drop. Unfortunately, it cost you a stroke, but
Yeah.
maybe you helped your buddy there.
Oh man, they're really showing me the love here with
Yeah.
these slow-mos. That was a little better. You see
Yeah.
how my weight was like a little further back?
And you popped that drive, too.
Yeah, I mean, it was all of 400.
So we have 6 down, 3 down, 11 down, 10 down. Pretty good card here. A lot of
This
green.
hole is playing so hard in the wind. Just like you mentioned, the headwind really magnifies the mistakes. So if you're off angle at all, the headwind is just gonna get under that rim, get under the flight plate, and just throw your disc away.
Yeah. If you turn it over too much, you're going to barrel roll left into the ground. Kind of like this one's kind of pushing left, but
Yeah.
it looks like you might have. Did you catch that guardian
It
tree?
pushed it left, and it also lifted it right into the tree.
Right.
I mean, and this, when I'm come up to this hole, I'm thinking park job. It plays perfect for the forehand.
And that's
That's a good backhand from Brian.
That's the first one we've seen him do this round. I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure that's the first.
Off the
Go
tee, I
in.
think it was
Wow.
the first one, yeah. And
Yeah.
Eric really shows you how to play it into the wind. Heiser flipped to flat with a stable disc, kept it low.
Jerem with a solid approach. Must have missed his drive a bit
Yeah,
there.
it's a good bird.
Great birdie from Brian. You could see him kind of go really slow and then explode through his form there to try to keep that weight off of the front foot, maybe. Couple pars. Looks like you guys are kind of slowing down now. You get into this wind, and then
It's a different ball game.
yeah, these holes are playing a lot tougher than the calm conditions in the wind.
Super low release right here. Watch this one.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah, that elbow comes through first. It's good stuff, Eric.
Yeah, now he's 6 under par.
Yeah, he's putting together a round. I mean, I know that Germ and I are lighting it up, but he's not far behind, and he's probably doing pretty well relatively to the rest of the field.
Yeah, I mean, in years past, we've seen the scores, kind of be relatively close from, we saw James maybe shoot 15 a few years ago, a few 15s here and there. So this course, when we step up, we know it's scoreable. We know you can go really, really low, but typically a really good score is anywhere from 8 down to 5 down because of how tight it is and how windy it is today. We don't know how the scoring conditions are.
Yeah.
We're just kind of feeling out the tournament at this point, and you guys are kind of setting the pace at this point, though.
I think so. I mean, I think Germ and I are leading the tournament. In my mind, that's how I feel.
Well, you have.
Ooh,
Did that land safe?
it did land safe. It stuck just next to that pole that you do not want to hit.
Yeah, you saw that. I play with him a lot, and that was not your typical form that you see from him. And this lifts so hard. But down, yeah, great shot. Anything past that ditch, you're loving life.
Yeah.
Anything in bounds, you're loving life.
You're loving life with this win, absolutely.
So with this win, it shrinks the fairway because now your disc flight, if you want to get any distance, the disc flight is a lot wider.
Yeah.
Because of the stability that you have to throw, especially to get distance to go over this ditch, unless you have straight hyzer game like that.
Yeah.
And so the fairway essentially shrinks.
Yeah, in half at least with this wind.
Yeah.
Brian hits the pole. Wow.
That's a really bad break. That was going to be right around circle's edge, possibly.
It also changes how hard you have to throw it. I mean, that's like a 250-foot approach. I'm like ripping that.
Yep.
That Firebird right there.
Yeah, that's a good point. And you see this thing lifting, dropping, lifting. And he probably threw that pretty hard.
Yeah.
He's going to have to earn a little 20-footer there.
Germ got enough distance to be able to throw the forehand, which is really what you want to be able to do.
And that's a nice dig.
That fire truck. Excal, have you felt that thing?
Yeah,
It's
so
a
stable.
brick. I think that's what they actually call it in Europe. The brick. Popular disc over there.
They love stable discs.
Do they really?
They really do. And we see Eric, I'd mentioned that was going to be a tough putt. And he just lifts it a little bit, and that's exactly what I was saying. The headwind really magnifies your mistake. He gets the nose up just a little bit in calm conditions. That's in. Not today.
Yeah. And he got a read from me on one. I got a read from him on this hole and actually changed to my stable P3X putter to just kind of jam that one in and not go with the softer putt.
Yeah, it's funny how seeing a competitor before you can definitely dictate your decision and how his disc flies, different things like that, especially when it gets windy.
Absolutely.
Kind of game plans go out the door because, like you said, we're playing the course blind at that point because we haven't played in these conditions yet. Hole 16, par 4, 585 feet. Again, practice. We're throwing rollers, flex shots. We're trying to get looks at this hole.
Yeah.
And now we're just trying to crest the hill. At least I am. So
Yeah,
that you
me
have
too.
some sort of look into that. But as a professional, you look at the distance and you see the distance being 585 feet. And then you can kind of calm down and say, okay, so if I can throw this 300 feet, I have a very manageable approach. In any conditions, you should be able to do that.
Yeah.
The only thing is, if you have a lot of power, to the right, there's some OB. And to the left, if you get the nose up a little bit, it can definitely get away from you.
Yeah. Yeah, you see the wind just take my disc and just shove it to the ground. Puts it on Annie and just pushes it down, maybe halfway to the pin.
So this is interesting. You can see Brian with that really slow form, and he rips this, but that's not his typical form. He's a little bit quicker and more explosive, and you can't help but feel for the guy.
I was definitely feeling for the guy. You see Eric unleash on one.
And that's so that was so close to coming
Yeah.
over and tilting. And see, now you see that kind of parking lot come into play. He did get a little bit of Anheuser there, so he's able to kind of slow down the flight. But if he didn't get that extra little pop, that could have definitely got out of hand.
Yeah. And with this elevated pin and this wind, it really puts the pressure on for you to put this one close.
Yeah.
You just don't want to putt in the wind.
Yeah, and even these approaches, you can see you really got to pick a side. You can throw sidearm around that big tree from where Eric was. I've been there way too often.
Yeah.
Or you can play backhand. But again, the wind really magnifies your mistake, and he gets it too high, and it lifts it right away, and those branches are not your friend.
Eric, a little frustrated right there, and just
runs it.
Really making a bad decision to run that from 80 feet. And it cost him. It cost him a stick right there. Whoa, great putt into that.
Great putt by Brian, even after he actually squares that tree up coming in, and then gets a nice little ground play where it scoots around and then gets him a little bit closer, and he takes advantage of that. Good birdie here by you. Germ's going to follow suit.
Yeah, when you're racking them up like this is just a musket. There's no way around it.
And so now you guys are just rolling. You know, we see Eric with the unfortunate bogey, but then 3 really nice birdies, 5 down, 13 down, 12 down. At this point, you guys have just extended your lead on the card, and you're feeling really good. You know that this score, no matter how you guys finish, you're going to be towards the top. You don't even have to do any of that leaderboard check-in or anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know how good you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
Hole 17, though, is one of the hardest holes on the course. I would say probably the signature hole as well.
Absolutely.
Par 4, 610 feet. Basically cut into 2 300-foot shots.
Mm-hmm.
So if you throw a really good shot that gets around this corner, then you're looking straight down at that fairway, and it's a dog leg right.
Yeah, and the way that it changes angles like that so harsh, the wind changes too. So at one direction you've got one wind, and then when you're approaching the basket, you've got a completely different wind.
And you're really trying to just get to the corner. If you can get to the top of the hill and to the corner, you'll be able to throw some sort of shot into the green. You see Germ, though, he's actually almost too short, but he's in a position to where with his sidearm skill, he'll probably be able to manufacture some sort of way to get down there. And Brian actually got a little bit further, so him being left-handed, I know it's going to hurt, but he should have a shot into there as well.
Yeah, it's good to note how important the drive is on this, because if you don't get the distance, it looked like that might have rolled, but I think he's good. Yeah, if you don't get the distance off the tee on this hole, it's bad news, because the approach is out of the question, and the layup is difficult.
And that took a nice little skip to the right. It's going to be a scary putt looking at that water.
Yeah, it is.
Germ, this looks a little bit too high, but you see how tight he had to cut that, because if you get it out left, being up there in the first round, you don't know how the reaction is going to be. You don't know if you're going to get slammed, and if you get slammed, you could almost go out of bounds like right away and just get slammed, not carry land, and then be looking at bogey.
No, you're exactly right, because we've got that different wind. We've got a right to left crosswind. So if you put it out wide and the wind gets on top of the disc, it can just shove it right down and crush your dreams.
And this is a big boy drive right there.
Yeah, to get over the hill like that.
What a shot.
Yeah.
He needs that. He just had an unfortunate bogey on the last hole, and that'll be a nice feeling to tap that in for bird.
And you can just see the Brazos River cruising back there. Oh, yes.
He gets the fist pump. What a birdie. It's just such a tough putt. You can see right behind it all that water.
Oh. Wanted that one for sure. Just trying to keep pace with my buddy Jeremy.
Yeah, it looks like it just aimed a little bit too high, popped it a
Mm-hmm.
little bit too much, maybe wanted it a little bit too much. Were you feeling nervous at that point, or was it just you liked your stroke and it wasn't the right stroke?
I think I wanted that one a little too much. I remember on the downswing, I just paused a little bit too long and just
Jabbed
popped
it,
it a little
yeah.
bit too much. Yeah. Also, a little bit of nerves with the water right behind. I mean, I haven't bogeyed yet, and definitely not trying to sail one into the water. And look at this. This is just such a great finishing hole, Paul.
Absolutely. Hole 18, par 4, 492 feet.
Water carry the whole way.
OB behind it, OB right. You're going to see a lot of people laying up left. There's an OB over there as well on the left side of the
yeah,
sidewalk.
there is. The layup
and-
isn't guaranteed.
No, absolutely not. But if you have the distance, the wind is playing as such a right to left wind that if you get it high enough, it almost just takes you to the hole. You see Jeremy playing this high hyzer and actually going deep, but gets the green flag.
Yeah, he's chasing down the course record right now. So if he eagles this, he breaks the course record.
Yeah, and just kind of silently through this round, playing so good and just racking up a crazy amount of birdies.
Yeah. I love watching these discs fly into look at that limestone bluff that's on the other side of the river. It's really a special place. That's inside the circle.
And Eric's going to have a chance to birdie 17 and eagle 18, which is just, I guarantee he'd be ecstatic with his score if he was able to make that putt. Especially having the bogeys that he had and kind of, he had a really kind of up and down round.
I got a lot of flack for laying up all 3 rounds.
Did you? What was this? Oh, there we go. That was a nice reaction off of the ground, and he'll have about 250 feet in.
Yeah, it's a good 250-foot approach.
Oh, and that feels nice.
Yeah.
No stress, just a little tapping. He's going with that standstill zone. This thing will get lifted, though. You can see that
you
wind
see that
take it.
wind.
Oh, no, sit. Is that the circle line, or is that an OB line?
I couldn't tell. It looked like his OB. Oh, no. And that was for the record right there.
Oh, and he's in a tough position.
Is that upside down?
Yeah.
Did he just put that upside down?
Did he make it?
Is he?
He made it.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even know that was
wow.
upside down. Brian,
He
that was
threw-
upside down?
He threw a upside down like
Into
tomahawk
the
putt.
headwind.
Wow.
Whoa.
What a way to finish for Brian.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was sick. And Eric just drops
Wow.
in the eagle, no problem. Great finish for him.
Great to see the resiliency from both of those players. You really can't bogey here. On the Pro Tour, you just can't take bogeys.
No.
They had some hiccups, and they really battled through. And to finish birdie eagle like that, great work, Eric.
Yeah, great work from all of you guys with a 15 down, 13 down, 2 6 downs.
I mean, it's hugs all around with the 13 down.
Yeah.
And Jeremy almost breaking the course record. Wow.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining us on that back nine coverage. Thank you to Dynamic Disc for sponsoring the event. If you guys want to support me and Nate, they're actually going to be putting up a link for our signature disc. Mine's the Raptor. Nate, what is yours?
Night Strike 2.
Yeah, dude. Please support us. Help support the Pro Tour. And we'll see you for round 2 coverage soon.
Thanks for having me, Paul.